Good morning and welcome to December the 21st, Tuesday morning. We move into the chapter entitled Judging Others, maybe one of the most flippantly quoted of scripture passages, wrongfully used. Matthew 7, verses 1 through 5. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye. We're going to hear from Fyodor Dostoevsky today. Fyodor Dostoevsky, not known as a religion writer, but many of his books carry themes in them that are very scripturally sound. Let not the sin of men disturb you in your actions. Fear not that it will wear away your work and hinder you from accomplishing it. Do not say, sin is mighty, wickedness is mighty, evil environment is mighty. We are lonely and helpless, and evil environment is wearing us away and hindering our good work from being done, unquote. Fly from that dejection, children. There is only one means of salvation. Take yourself and make yourself responsible for all men's sins. Friends, that is the truth, you know. For as soon as you sincerely make yourself responsible for everything and for all people, you will see at once that it is really so, and that you are to blame for everyone and for all things. But by throwing your own indolence and impotence on others, you will end up sharing the pride of Satan and murmuring against God. Remember particularly that you cannot be a judge of anyone. For no one can judge a criminal until he recognizes that he is just such a criminal as the man standing before him, and that he, perhaps more than all people, is to blame for that crime. When he understands that, he will be able to be a judge. Though that sounds absurd, it is true. If I had been righteous myself, perhaps there would have been no criminal standing before me. If you can take upon yourself the crime of the criminal whom your heart is judging, take it at once. Suffer for him yourself, and let him go without reproach. And even if the law itself makes you his judge, act in the same spirit so far as possible, for he will go away and condemn himself more bitterly than you have done. If the evil doing of men moves you to indignation and overwhelming distress, even to a desire for vengeance on the evildoers, shun above all things that feeling. Go at once and seek suffering for yourself as though you were yourself guilty of that wrong. Accept that suffering and bear it, and your heart will find comfort, and you will understand that you too are guilty. For you might have been a light to the evildoers, even as the one man sinless, and you were not a light to them. If you had been a light, you would have lightened the path for others too, and the evildoer might perhaps have been saved by your light from his sin. Kind of different perspective on this Matthew 7 passage, 7 verses 1 through 5, about don't judge lest you be judged. In other words, when you become the kind of judge, this is what I hear from Dostoevsky, if you become the judge of someone in the terminology Jesus has in mind here. It means you've set yourself up as a superior, and therefore you cannot see your own shortcomings. Judge not, lest you be judged. I've heard that. I've had that verse thrown at me when trying to talk to someone about their choices and their sin. And they think it means everybody gets to do whatever they want to do and you can't judge me. Well, that's certainly not right. This is not about discerning something might be wrong. This is about, as the Old West sayings go, the judge, jury, and executioner. That's what Jesus is warning about. And the imagery of the plank and the speck of dust, they're both wrong, because at the end, that speck in your brother's eye needs to be dealt with. But if you're dealing with that speck, and this is, I think, Dostoevsky's thoughts, if you're dealing with that speck out of your own sense of superiority, you really can't deal with it. See yourself as guilty also when judging others. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Heard a story years ago about a man who'd survived the Holocaust, a Jewish man who was asked to be a witness at a trial of a Nazi officer, I think at a concentration camp. That officer was being charged with horrible, horrible things. And as the Jewish man was put on the witness stand, he saw the German officer then come in and he began to weep. When asked later what he wept about, he said, "I looked at that man and saw he was just like any other man, and it very well could have been me." Judging coupled with mercy is what is necessary in the kingdom of heaven. Blessings to you today.